of companies that indulged in corporate financial fraud is pretty long, and we have all heard about the frauds in Enron, WorldCom, Tyco, Health South, and there are, just to name a few. And in India, we have Harshad Mehta scam, Sahara India, recently Reebok, and of course the infamous Satyam computer case. And these have highlighted the use of creative accounting approved by the CEOs and the CFOs of these companies. The major role played by CFOs in perpetuating these frauds not only wreaked havoc with investor confidence but also brought shame and scandal to the entire CFO community. Of course, CFOs shouldn't be the only senior executive singled out. Government responsibilities vest in many levels, from the CEO to the board of directors, from auditors to analysts. But in many cases, CFOs actively participated or at least turned a blind eye to the crimes being committed. And I remember that they said that during these periods of the scam, that the CEO was called the chief embezzlement officer and the CFO was called the chief fraud officer of these organizations. But jokes aside, I firmly believe that it is important for an organization to have a code of ethics that is led by the CEO and the CFO. And this is something which is close to my heart. And I echo the views of our finance minister in our discussion we have been having, that ethics is something which is very important for any organization. And we in the government, at least in the state government of Telangana, believe in actually inculcating a culture of ethics which starts right at the top. And that this is where it should start, from the CEOs and the CFOs. And there is evidence to show that a code of ethics and ethical behavior has a beneficial effect on business performance internally in terms of staff trust, loyalty, and motivation. And it also boosts external relationships such as those with investors, customers, and analysts. Boards also perceive a very real risk to their corporate reputations if they do not give ethics a high priority. One key finding in a survey on corporate ethics, that the top financially performing companies in the world were far more likely to report an excellent ethical climate. There is no causal link. Statistically, there may be a correlation, but there is no causal link to show on this. But the report revealed important evidence of a correlation between strong business and ethical performance. American CFOs have already argued strongly that good ethical practices boost share price and competitive advantage. And therefore, I would like to propose that every company which is headed by you as the CFOs, adopt a very simple code of conduct, an ethical code of conduct. The main statement and premise of this code is that the company and its shareholders expect honest and ethical conduct in all aspects of business from all employees, especially from the financial managers. Every financial manager has to set an example for other employees and is expected to foster a culture of transparency, integrity, and honesty. Compliance with the code of conduct and a code of business conduct and ethics should be a condition in continued employment, and any violations has to be dealt with severely, including termination and employment and prosecution in a court of law. A simple 6-point agenda for a code of conduct. The first component is actually a conflict of interest for the CFO. As a financial manager, it is imperative that the CFO avoids any investment, interest, association, or other relationship that might interfere or might be thought to interfere with your independent exercise of judgment in the company's best interest and with your professional obligations to the company. The second component of this code is accurate periodic reports. The CFO has to exercise the highest standard of care in preparing a full, accurate, and fair and timely and understandable disclosure in the reports and other documents that are required to be provided to the shareholders, to the board of directors, and to be filed to the statutory requirements. I mean, this should not be simply adhering to the technical compliance just to simply meet the requirements. This has to be something which is really based on sound ethical grounds. And the third component of the code is financial records. Financial managers are responsible for establishing and managing financial reporting systems to ensure that all business transactions are properly authorized, all records fairly and accurately reflect the transactions or occurrences to which they relate, and no transactions are intentionally misclassified as to accounts, departments, or accounting periods, and no information is concealed from the internal auditors, the independent auditors, the audit committee, or the board of directors. I think the Satyam scam really showed that this is what was happening in that particular organization. The fourth component of the code is the compliance with laws. The financial managers are expected to comply with both the letter and spirit of all applicable laws and government rules and regulations, and the CFO will be the person who will drive this compliance with the laws. The fifth component of the code is physical, actual, ethical conduct. Others who have invited me to be here and to express what I feel about the role of the CFO. Like I said, it's something which is close to my heart, and I practice it every day in my office. And I do hope that the Hyderabad chapter of the National CFOs Forum, as organized by the Yes Bank, proves to be eminently successful. And we do hope to see a number of CEOs amongst you in the future. Thank you very much.